Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Chase Ink Business Preferred credit card. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its drawbacks. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether or not this credit card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main features of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock and a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the Chase Ink Business Preferred credit card. First off, we're going to be discussing points and how you can earn them with this card. So you will be earning 5 points per dollar spent on Lyft rides. Then you'll be earning 3 points on the first $150,000 spent in combined purchases in the following categories. So it's going to be 3 points per dollar spent on the first $150,000 spent in these categories. So shipping purchases, advertising purchases made with social media sites and search engines, also internet, cable, and phone services, and then finally travel. And then finally on all other transactions not in those categories, you will be earning 1 point per dollar spent. Now with this card, you can also earn a pretty good spend bonus as well. So as long as you're able to spend at least $8,000 within the first 3 months of having this credit card, you will be earning a spend bonus of 100,000 points. That's going to be worth $1,000 in cash back. Or if you book travel through the Chase Travel Portal, it's going to be worth 25% more. So in that case, it is going to be worth $1,250 in travel. Now with this card, you can also earn some other benefits as well. So just for instance, you will be able to receive employee cards at no additional cost. And you can also set spend limits as well for each card. So say you have a few different employees and you only want to set like a spend limit of $200 per card, you will have the option to do so at no extra cost. This is pretty beneficial because with other card companies out there, sometimes they actually charge you on a per card basis. So the fact that you can get these employee cards at no extra cost, that's a pretty good benefit there. Then on top of that, there's also going to be a 1-to-1 point transfer to airlines or their hotel travel partners. So just out of the list that you can see up there on the screen, that includes JetBlue, Singapore, Southwest Airlines, United, Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, IHG One Rewards Club, Marriott Bonvoy, World of Hyatt, and others up there that you can also see up there on the screen. And then with this card, there's also going to be some travel and purchase coverage that you'll definitely need to keep in mind as well. So with this, you're going to be receiving trip cancellation / trip interruption insurance. So you can be reimbursed up to $5,000 per person and $10,000 per trip for your prepaid non-refundable travel expenses, including passenger fares, tours, and hotels if your trip is canceled or cut short by sickness, severe weather, and other coverage situations. With this card, you're also going to be receiving roadside dispatch as well. You're also going to be receiving auto rental collision damage waiver. So as long as you decline the rental company's collision insurance and charge the entire rental cost to your card, coverage is going to be primary, unlike some other cards where it's actually secondary. When renting for business purposes though, and it also provides reimbursement up to the actual cash value of the vehicle for theft and collision damage for most cars in the United States as well as internationally. You're also going to be receiving cell phone protection as well, so you can get up to $1,000 per claim in cell phone protection against cover theft or damage for you and your employees listed on your monthly cell phone bill when you pay for it with this card. Now you're going to have a maximum of 3 claims in a 12-month period with a $100 deductible per claim. You're also going to be receiving purchase protection. So this is going to cover new purchases for 120 days against damage or theft up to $10,000 per claim and $50,000 per account. And then finally, you're also going to be receiving extended warranty protection as well. So this is basically going to extend the time period of the U.S. manufacturer's warranty by an additional year on eligible warranties of 3 years or less. So Now that we went over the main features of this card at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course this is also super important as well. So starting out, your purchase APR is going to be anywhere between 21.24 to 26.24% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as balance transfers go, your balance transfer APR with this card is going to be anywhere between 21.24 to 26.24%, just like your purchase APR. So obviously starting out, it's probably not going to make a lot of sense to perform a balance transfer with this card, considering that you're not given like an introductory APR of 0% like you are with some of the other credit cards out there in the market. Now later down the line, Chase might offer you something like a promotional 0% APR, but again, starting out, your APR is going to be at least 21.24%. Then as far as cash advances go, on this channel, we usually recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This, of course, should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually with them, you have a very high interest rate, plus you have to pay a lot of fees as well. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance with this card, just know that your APR on them is going to be a whopping 29.99%, plus a lot of fees as well, which we are going to go ahead and dive into right now. So as far as the fees go, starting out with the cash advances, your fees are either going to be $15 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever happens to be greater. Then as far as balance transfers go, even though right now it wouldn't make much sense to do a balance transfer, if perhaps later down the line they do offer you like a 0% promotional APR on them, it's still not going to be completely free, because you are going to have a fee on your balance transfer. That fee is either going to be $5 or 5% of the amount of each balance transfer, whichever happens to be greater. There's also a few more fees with this card you'll have to keep in mind. So the first fee is going to be a late or return payment. Each late or return payment is going to be a fee of up to $40. And then finally, the last fee with this credit card is going to take place on an annual basis. That is the annual fee. The annual fee with this credit card is going to be $95. So each and every year, you are going to have to sit down and consider whether or not keeping this card for a second year, for third, fourth year is going to be worthwhile. Are you getting at least $95 back with this card, or even more than $95 to make it worth paying $95 for? So now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the biggest pros and drawbacks of this credit card. So we're going to start out with the best things of this card. So starting out, of course, is going to be that spend bonus of 100,000 points. Again, as long as you're able to spend at least $8,000 within the first 3 months of having this card. For some people, that's going to be pretty easy to do. For others, it might be a little bit more difficult depending on how much they spend in their business or their side hustle. Also, another pro of this card is the fact that with Chase, your points are actually going to be worth 25% more if you redeem your points through the Chase travel portal. So the spend bonus, for example, 100,000 points is only going to be worth $1,000 in cash. However, if you redeem your points through the Chase travel portal, they're going to be worth $250 more, $1,250 in total. So obviously that's pretty beneficial as well. And then finally, the last really good thing about this card is all of the travel and purchase coverage that you're going to be receiving, such as the trip cancellation or trip interruption insurance, purchase protection, extended warranty protection, and all the things like that. So those are the best things about this card. As far as the drawbacks go, the first drawback, of course, is that $95 annual fee. And even though in the grand scheme of things, $95 really isn't that much when you compare it to some of the other business cards out there, or the ones that you can get like 100,000 bonus points, still $95 is $95. So it is something you are going to have to evaluate each and every year if it's worth keeping, if paying $95 for this card is going to be worth it for you. Also, another drawback is the fact that you're going to be earning 1 point per dollar spent on a lot of transactions, like on gas, groceries, and several other categories. Unfortunately, you are going to be earning a very low amount on those transactions, so you might want to consider using another credit card on your gas, groceries, and other categories. And then finally, with this card, you're also not going to be receiving an introductory APR on purchases or balance transfers. So maybe I'm very nitpicky there, but it would be nice if this card had like a 0% introductory APR, at least for the first 12 to 15 months, at least on your purchases. This one does not, but still not that huge of a deal. but still it is something I guess I could nitpick if I really want to be picky with my drawbacks there. But just to sum things up here, all in all, this is a pretty good credit card to have, at least for the first year, with the 100,000 point spend bonus. If you can achieve that, it's definitely going to be worth it for the first year alone. As far as the second year moving forward, though, you're going to have to consider whether or not you're getting at least $95 back in value to make it worth paying $95 for. So ultimately, that is going to be up to you, but that's all we have for today's review. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate it if you could give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.